started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pay me.
Hi, my name is Heather, aka Stoney Baloney, and this is the Stoney Baloney podcast. If you're expecting anything from this podcast, don't. But if there's one thing you will learn about me, is you never know what Stoney you're gonna get. This is the journey of one spicy, sarcastic entrepreneur who came out of her cannabis closet and has been blazing through life ever since. Scott, are you ready for me?
Oh yeah, I thought we started.
Oh, cool. Cool. Have you ever looked at a old car, like say you're walking in the park and you see an old car like a Chrysler, like I guess there were some cars when you're a kid that you were embarrassed to be in. Like a couple of my family members I didn't love when they picked me up from school. But other family members it was okay. So I feel like it looks like it would have been one of those like embarrassing type of cars back in the 90s. And I wonder, well, now I would kill to have that car.
Right.
Dope as hell. But also, what if that car is from a different time?
Like the car traveled through time?
Yeah, and they're sitting there in the parking lot from a different time travel. But it's odd because they can't see us and that we're different because there's some, like, warp there.
Right, but the car's still there.
Yes, but we see that car and we're just driving by and we're like, oh, that's an old fucking Chrysler. Isn't that fucked up?
I like that.
Do you ever get that feeling sometimes?
Not specifically when I look at a car, but I believe in all that shit. You know what I mean? I think that the universe is so, like, crazy. There's so many different levels. I feel like there's so many, like, different lives and, like, periods of time living at one time, and, like, whatever vibration you're on is what you can see. So I could totally see that. Like, what just popped into my head is, like, you know those, like, Woody cars? You know what I'm talking about?
Woody whack.
Yeah, like, I don't even know. Like the wagons?
A bush wagon.
Yeah, or I don't know. I don't know the term.
Volks.
Yes, yes.
I don't think it's a
Station wagon.
Station wagon. Where are you, Scott? I'm pointing at you. I don't even know where you are.
He's like the guy on The Price is Right, where he's up in the box. So I picture, when I do the podcast, even though I know Scott's over here,
Okay.
I picture him up in a box like over here.
Gotcha.
Actually, I feel him over here.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
So this is season 2 of the Stoney Baloney podcast. A lot of things are the same. Like my hair's different every episode.
Love it.
Still high as a bitch. I had my baby.
Yay.
I've had some podcast episodes in between this one because I was going to change the name. But then I was like, fuck that shit. I'm fucking Stoney Baloney.
Yeah.
We're staying at Stoney Baloney.
I like it. I like that name.
So you're my first guest. This is Megan.
Oh, yay. Hi, guys.
We went to high school together.
Yeah.
We were never in the same friend group. Megan's younger. But we had associated people.
Yes.
Accomplices.
Yeah, I think you graduated with my brother, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have a brother, Jim?
Yes.
He, I think, does he work at the Rochester Fire Department?
Yeah, so does Drew, actually. They both do, but yeah.
Well, he reached out to me for a catering order yesterday.
Dope.
But I had to decline it. I felt so bad, but I need 24 hours because I get my bread fresh in the morning.
Yeah.
So I have to tell them by 1 o'clock so I can get bread in time. But we don't keep anything in stock.
Yeah.
We get everything fresh. And that frustrates some people. Not really. The people that don't order are the ones that bitch.
Yeah.
But the people that order are just fucking fine.
Yeah, I mean, you would figure you'd want it fresh.
So, and I like it too, especially when it comes to like the health department.
Yes.
because now I have a clean kitchen that like barely has food in it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm not fucking with mice and all that other fucking shit.
Right.
Keeping it on a low.
Yeah.
But you also, so you have a cleaning business. You just started. Has it been a year?
Oh, shit, girl. It's been 3.
No way. Time is flying.
Yes.
So you're on your 3rd year.
Yeah.
And you also do comedy on the side, and you do some other things. And something we both have in common is that we both are sober.
So I consider myself sober curious, which means that I do indulge every once in a while, but not like I was indulging. Like, I found something that I love more than alcohol, which is making money. So that's what I focus on.
I love that.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's the perfect clip.
Yeah, right.
Perfect clip, Scott. So what do you... So you're curious is the money. You're not indulging in alcohol every so often, or you are?
No, so I do indulge like every so often, like holidays, let's say, like I'll have a couple or whatever. Like if I'm going to New York City next week, so I might have a couple, but it's not like, it's definitely not like a weekly thing or like a daily thing by any means. Like it's maybe like 3 a month or something like that, if I even like count like that.
That's good. I feel when I had Harrison, that's what I did for the first like few years.
Yeah.
And then even after that, like weddings, but even after those, it became a point of when I started having that first sip, it reminded me of that hangover. It reminded me of the anxiety that came after it.
Right.
And then I just feel like you feel it in your whole body and it's just fucking gross.
Yes.
Which is why I don't understand why people still try and snuff me for smoking weed and being open about it.
That's so goofy.
I'll get some snarky comments every once in a while, but it's like, do you know me? Do you think I give a fuck?
Right.
Like, I have built my whole life around accepting who I am, not putting on a mask in front of people. Because what story are you playing when you're going out there and you're trying to be all cookie cutter and you are just so perfect?
Right.
You're a fucking snake.
Yeah.
Those are the people you gotta fucking look out for.
I just don't fuck with them.
And I think I said this in one of my fake podcast episodes, that the 90s, like our parents, I feel like are that generation. Like, at least with my parents, I feel very worried about what other people think. But then you're going to go and do these things. So I feel like if you're going to care what people think, then maybe you should watch what you fucking do.
I just feel like everybody is living lives that nobody knows about. So like when people like look like they have the cookie cutter like life, you really just don't know what's going on in their lives. So I found that I don't give a fuck what other people think about me. If I worry about what other people are thinking about me, it takes less energy away of what I think of me. You know what I mean? Like, I need to worry about myself, how I can get better. I don't want to use that energy to be like, what does that person think of me? Because they're not putting money in my pocket.
That is the biggest lesson. One of the biggest lessons I've learned in a business is if they're not giving you their money.
That part.
And I feel everyone who... I mean, I've taken some criticism to heart because I've had a very hard year. I was up, just for the record, before I had Gabe, I was 127 pounds.
Oh, okay.
I was like close to my high school weight, doing yoga all the time, kickboxing occasionally, like just felt really good for the first time since having Harrison, which was 6 years ago.
Right.
So I finally got back and like I felt like me again, and then I got pregnant and it was a very rough pregnancy.
Yeah.
It felt like I was about to give birth every day after like 6.5 months.
Ouch.
I had him early. That was kind of complicated. And my body, I've never been the person where I'm at the store and I bend over and I can't get up.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Like, I've never been that person.
Right.
And my body hurts all day, every day. So I went up to 185. I had blood pressure issues, so that kind of
Right.
plopped me
I think
too.
you look great, though.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm down to 145 today.
Hey,
and
good
I'm
job,
starting
girl.
kickboxing in 2 weeks.
Awesome.
So I kind of like have to start working out because I'm going to die at kickboxing.
Yeah, right. I feel that.
However, I ordered a new yoga mat, and sometimes I feel like when you need a jump start, getting new stuff kind of makes you feel a little bit better. But speaking of childhood and, going out there and doing whatever the fuck you want to do.
Yeah.
You travel for your comedy shit. Mm-hmm. And I've always said, I think I said it on one of my old podcasts, that a goal of mine in life would be, I would love to be on SNL one time.
Oh, yeah, that would be dope.
I get stage fright, though.
I do too. I get nervous every time I am about to go on a stage. It doesn't matter if it's like in front of 5 people or like in front of like 300. You know what I mean? It's like right before I get on stage, I always have to pee, even though I just went pee, I always have to pee. And then I literally sit there and I'm like, why do I do this to myself? Like, it's torture. And then once you get on stage and like you get that like first like laugh, it's like, oh, this is dope.
Oh,
I
thank
freaking
God.
love this shit. Yeah, for real. And then if you don't get a laugh, because I've bombed plenty of times too, and I'm just like, all right, just keep going with it. You know what I mean? Try to win them over. But, it's exciting. You know what I mean? It's just like, I don't know.
Have you done 300?
Yeah, I think the most that I've done was 350.
That's a lot of fucking people.
Yeah, it's super
I would
fun.
throw the fuck up.
It's super fun. I definitely have to pee.
Right now?
No, before.
Oh.
It's I don't know, it's like a nervous habit. People have different nervous habits. So.
Yes. So, when I was a kid, I was not the pretty one.
Right, I feel that.
I mean, I feel like I'm still like, I'm wearing fucking a dope ass fucking coat.
Yeah, girl.
But my husband and I always laugh that we say that I'm going to be a lesbian in my 40s. But then I will do like a haircut or something, and I'm starting to play into the part. Not that anybody looks like anything. Mm-hmm. So today he mentioned that my boobs are out, and I said, well, I kind of had to look a little less like a lesbian.
Yeah.
But lesbians have their boobs out, so I understand. But I'm just saying.
I feel like you might be attracting lesbians, though, with your boobs out.
Well, ever since I was little, I just knew I was more the funny one.
That's how I felt my whole life, for sure.
So you were the goofball. Like,
Yeah.
I used to make little jingles. Mm-hmm. I used to pretend I was dating a tree. Mm-hmm. Hey, that's George Glass. So I feel I've always, especially since doing the podcast, have had the urge to do an open mic sometime.
Ooh,
just
you should.
just to say that I did it once.
That would be so fun. Let me know. I'm going to one tonight, actually.
Well, I feel like that's the thing is, I'll even if I bomb it, which I feel most people probably bomb their first show.
Yeah, sometimes, for sure.
It's a learning experience as you go.
Yeah.
As everything is.
Yeah.
But I think that's my bit, is that I don't have Scott can test. Mm-hmm. Is it a test?
I don't know. That's a good question.
A test, yes.
Thank you.
Great job.
That there's no method to my madness.
Yeah. But sometimes that's the best. You know what I mean? Like, what I found in comedy is literally just being yourself. Like, the most authentic you can be to yourself on stage is the best. That's where you get the best laughs. You know what I mean? You just go up there and talk how you're talking now or whatever. Something funny is going to come out of your mouth because you're a funny person. I feel like you've always been. So you just basically go up there and be and plus open mics are cool because if you say it's my first time, everybody starts clapping.
Yeah.
So then you get that energy and then you just start talking and then, just see what comes out of your mouth.
Are there places you like doing shows at better? And if there are places you don't like doing shows, do you stop doing shows there, or do you go there because of the opportunity?
Right. Good question. Yeah, I'll basically do comedy anywhere. If there's, I don't want to say like I'm picky. I can't really think of any like place right now that like I would not do a show at. But there are like, you know, places. I really like the Funny Bone in Syracuse. That place is super fun. Like I love the GM there. It's like so comfortable. There's a bunch of places in New York City that I love to do. I'm just trying to think, you know, there's just places that you feel like more comfortable than others. But of course, like the more that you go to that place, the more comfortable you'll feel. So
is it like Adam Sandler? Like they've all got their people and they kind of like keep going to the same places.
Right.
Like what's the curly haired guy? He was in the one with the parents meet or grown ups.
Yeah, grown ups.
Rob Schneider.
Yes.
That's Rob Schneider, right?
Yes. Yeah, right? Yeah.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think so. No, maybe he's not. Are you talking about the one? I was just gonna go look. What's his name? Because he was also in 51st Dates.
Yes, that's not Rob Schneider.
Oh, maybe not.
That's
Look
not Rob Schneider. That's somebody else.
I want to look him up now.
What the hell's that guy's name? But like David Spade and John Candy and
I love. That's like a goal of mine is to like. It is Rob Schneider.
No shit.
Yeah, it is. Well, at least he's the one in 51st Dates. That's him.
You know, I think I'm thinking of DJ's boyfriend that was in Jesse and the Rippers.
Oh, yeah. I don't know who the freak that guy is.
Can you picture him though?
Yeah. Didn't he have a mullet?
Yes. But for some reason, I was getting him confused with him. That's freaking weird. I don't know. I feel like if I'm going to do it, I'm going to have to, like, you're going to have to guide me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm coming with you.
Yeah, definitely come with me. It's always so much fun. Everyone's, like, super supportive. Like, Rochester definitely has, like, one of the most, like, in Western New York, like, best communities. You know what I mean? Everyone's, like, really supportive for the most part. Compared to like what I hear from, I like the Buffalo scene too. Syracuse doesn't really have that big of a comedy scene, but we always hear like about like drama in like those cities and stuff. And I just feel like Rochester doesn't really have any. We're all just like, you know, chilling, just out there to tell jokes. You know what I mean? And it's the best community I've ever been a part of. Like I always
What
say
about
it.
New York City?
New York City is dope as fuck. I mean, I plan on moving there like ASAP. So, but it will never be. It's different than Rochester. You know, Rochester's home. So,
Is the Bronx different? Because I feel like a lot of people here go, no, not to the Bronx. What am I thinking of?
Brooklyn or Harlem. Harlem's pretty
Maybe
big.
it's Brooklyn.
Brooklyn.
Maybe it's Brooklyn. I feel like a lot of people from Rochester go to Brooklyn.
Probably. I mean, it's one of the. I think it's the biggest borough in New York City. I love Brooklyn. Brooklyn's like one of my favorite places, but they have a lot of comedy in Harlem too. You know, obviously Manhattan. It's all over the place there.
So I find it interesting. You know, we have 3 very different businesses. You're in the cleaning business, and I have my catering business, which I officially put catering on my window. I changed it from deli to cafe and to whatever. This way it'll confuse less people, but
Yeah.
I think I figured out the direction that I want to go to.
Yeah, that's dope.
You with your cleaning business, I feel like you're crushing it and you're growing very rapidly, which is
Thank you.
fucking awesome. But I, like, as for Shade, which Shade's kind of a little different than food. Like, the deli hit the ground running.
Yes.
Shade, I did pretty well in the beginning. I've had some hits. At the same time, I haven't gone hard with Shade because I feel like I kind of treat it more like a side hustle than a main business, but I like keeping it that way.
Yeah.
I like being able to use that space as an event space, make money off of it. I don't even have to be there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So keeping it low key and like shit like that. Now I have an employee and we're trying to figure out like what's going to work best. I'm thinking 1099 because that's what most spray tan artists do is the
Yeah.
1099.
We do 1099s too.
Oh, sick. Everybody?
Yeah, so yeah, all of the cleaners are 1099s. We call them like team members because you can't like obviously technically call them employees. But they're 1099s. We are hiring a manager right now who is going to be doing like paperwork and stuff. So that person will technically be an employee because I feel like it would be harder to get them with a 1099.
So I was thinking of calling my person a personal assistant, because then they can help me with multiple things there.
That's amazing.
Or if I like, hey, on your way to work, can you send this package out for me?
That's what I'm talking about.
So I'm doing like a Google Doc and putting in things in tasks. And then maybe like if there's something that I think that she would be able to do for the deli, like pick up a grocery order that I ordered or pick up deli meats or something, she could do that if she wants to pick up hours, and she can just do the checkbox if she wants that extra time.
Yeah.
And that's been working out.
That's amazing. We can't wait to get that. Like, that's literally what we're looking for. We want someone to, like, just help with our day-to-day tasks, like, you know, because we run around like chickens with our head cut off. You know what I mean? We're doing walkthroughs. We're picking up supplies, dropping them off, doing quality control checks. Like, since I got back from New York City, especially, we've been going through, like, crazy growing pains. And then we just, we have so many team members, and, sometimes people get sick, all this other stuff, and it's just been wild. So we're like at the point where we're like, we're stunting our own growth by not hiring on someone to help with like the day-to-day tasks.
Yeah. I still have a remote job. And I know a lot of people ask me, like, "What? You're crazy. Like, why would you do that? You have two businesses. Why wouldn't you just go into that
Are you
full
like, 'cause
time?"
I like money?
And I like the stability because I like, I could go out there and make sure that I have X amount of orders a week at the deli. I like the slow growth. But also with like our airline catering, I can do a $40 order that would be in the deli, and I'm making $700 off.
I know,
of it.
that's freaking amazing.
I charge $150 for every delivery, every flight. Even if I have 2 or 3 flights ordering and I can drop it off at once, they each get a delivery fee.
Yeah, I saw that you were doing that, and I was like, that is so dope. Like, I feel like you're really good at manifesting, like, big opportunities. And I just, like, honestly, I saw that you were doing that, and I was like, yo, that is, like, honestly so dope. So congratulations on that. That's amazing.
I had an inside guy.
So what? That's amazing.
But I still, like, I'm doing 14 Forbes Fortune or 500 companies.
That's amazing.
And one of them is, like, I can't say who, but it's huge here. They own a lot of things at the lake that are nice, and they have a hangar at the airport with a lot of private jets, and like top people come through those hangars. So I'm getting people in San Diego that are coming in here for flights, and they said, we heard you're the top FBO caterer, and I'm like, holy shit, because I literally just started doing this.
I know. But the universe was like waiting for you to like open this portal of, plus, remember like when you first, I don't know how long ago it was, because we've always had like business conversations, and you've always talked about like catering and doing like cooking and stuff like that. I feel like in our conversations it would be brought up, and I think the universe was just like waiting for you to open this portal of doing what you've always loved to do, and now it's just like throwing these, it's like all that energy that you've been putting out about loving catering and cooking and all the energy, you opened a portal, and now all of that energy is finally coming back to you at like rapid speed.
I feel I wouldn't have wanted it to come at any better time, because I had like the support.
Yeah.
Kenny is the best support.
Yeah.
There's no way I'd be able to have kids and 2 businesses if I didn't have a support system.
Yeah,
like Kenny.
of course.
But then also that it's right next to Shade.
Yeah, literally. That's what I'm saying. It's amazing.
And like
I love
5
that so
minutes
much.
from my house.
Yep.
But it also allows me to have the flexibility of being home with the kids. And my biggest challenge right now is the baby.
Yeah.
And having to bring the baby everywhere. Like, if I have to go grocery shopping for an order, I have to bring the baby. Sometimes I have to bring the baby if I'm putting together an order.
Yeah.
And sometimes with the airline orders, I don't like to do this, but if they want a last minute order, we've worked it out where if they want chicken French, I can't do that, but I know somewhere good and I'll pick it up for you. And then I can charge triple that.
Yeah.
Even,
what do you do? Subcontract out? Like, you know what I mean? Do you order the chicken French for them, or do they directly order it?
So I'm almost like door dashing for them at that point.
Yeah.
But
you make their orders come true, like their dream orders come to life.
So I'm basically their bitch, but they are wonderful.
Yeah.
I've been working with this one woman, and it's been like a challenge learning. They have very small quarters to keep food in, but they also have millionaires wanting 5-star charcuterie.
Yeah.
So trying to figure out how to package it. Like, most of my items come in on plates with plastic wrap over it.
Yeah.
And I don't think this is something where just anybody can get into doing the airline catering.
I would say probably not.
Like, I couldn't just walk in there and leave a brochure and whatever. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I feel like you definitely manifested that, whether you knew an inside guy or not. You know what I mean? That's something that doesn't happen by mistake.
Even though I knew someone, I still feel like I may have ended up there because I had clients that use that through Panera, and it's insane.
Perfect.
The damage I did on my vehicle and the amount of money that I didn't make and how hard I worked for that corporate business.
That's what I'm telling you. That's crazy.
That I would go in at 3 a.m. and do these orders. We had to get a U-Haul truck one time. We had an order was so big. We got there at midnight. Didn't get a tip.
See, all that energy's coming back to you now, girl.
So it's just insane, but it's also like, I think some people, somewhere else that I have a work connection at, they were talking about how the owner's like not going after opportunities. And I said, well, his business is doing great.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, I don't think it's really going that great. I'm like, how's it not great? His people are paid. He's paid, and he makes a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And he can also help people and stuff. So how is he not doing well?
Ooh, I missed that part.
I didn't say who.
Oh, okay. We're just talking about someone.
I can't say who.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But I was explaining, like, that's kind of me with shade. Like, I'm comfortable at shade. I'm not trying to go become the next Sears.
Right.
But, like, also, some people grow too fast, and a lot of companies I've worked with grew too fast. But you see that a lot with hair salons. Like, they'll run a couple chairs or something out, and they're like, oh, this is easy.
Let me get a bigger salon.
And then now they're fucking with more overhead and all that other shit. And then they're extra stressing out. So, I mean, you got to be careful, but it also depends in what business you're in.
I think for the most part, like the way that I see it is like, because I mean, Rose Cleaning obviously has grown a wild, like, you know what I mean? We're going for $1 million in contracts this year. I think we're at like 700,000 right now. And it's been crazy, but I've just made sure to take every opportunity that I felt was the universe sending it to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like, and obviously, you live and you learn and everything like that. I feel like for me, I will never turn down an opportunity because I know it's going to be successful whether or not it works out or not, because you're going to live from it or you're going to learn from it. I mean, you're going to learn from it or grow from it, no matter what. So, someone calls me, like, for instance, I got my first $100,000 contract a year ago in May. I only had like 5 employees at that time, maybe 6. And a manufacturing plant called me up. They're like, hey, we're looking for someone 7 days a week, da-da-da. It's all the way out in Holly. I had no idea. I've never cleaned a manufacturing plant in my life. Yeah. I said, fuck yeah, we'll do it. Because I'm going to get there and I'm going to figure it out.
For sure.
I would never say no to anything. I'm looking for $1 million contract. Fuck that shit.
So I'm the same way. However, I think because of all the different things that I do now and with the baby, I have to say no sometimes.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, when I had to turn that order down, I thought about it all fucking day.
Yeah.
And I texted them again at like 12:30 because I didn't hear back. And I assumed they were busy and they got my email. But I also was sweating like, did they get an order?
Yeah.
Because I would have called Wegmans for them.
Yeah, you're so sweet.
But I feel maybe a couple months before it was I'm running around and I'm like ready to just jump out a window by the end of the day.
Right. You got to make sure that your mental health is there. I mean, it's really hard to keep your mental health steady while like in life in general, I feel like, but like especially if you're owning a business, and I mean especially if you have 2 little humans that you have to make sure you keep alive and happy and all that other stuff. I couldn't imagine that part, but it's definitely true. Like, you know, if you have to turn something down just because of, you know, you don't have the opportunity to take it, it's not a loss. You know what I mean? Like, because that's going to come back to you later when you're more equipped, when you have that personal assistant, when you have, you know, someone to watch the kids or whatever, and then you'll be more equipped.
And I think that's what we need the most is someone to watch the kids. But we are talking about Kenny leaving. Let me imaginary fishing pole. I'm gonna reel that back in. But
You're so funny.
Having somebody in the deli full time.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I understand the amount of money, but if we can avoid workers' comp, because at Panera, I was by myself for a long time. Then I took over 2 locations. I did Grease and Gates. And then they gave me an assistant. So we busted out, and we're expected to bust it out X amount of catering. I don't know how a 1099 works at a restaurant.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's more complicated than that, but it would be nice if I could do 1099s because I'm never going to have people there full time.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that. I feel like, you know, how you were saying about the spray tan, that makes sense to do a 1099. I feel like a deli might be a little harder to do a 1099, but that's definitely something to look into. But again, I feel that when you make that investment, you're going to get that back ASAP. You know what I mean? Because it's going to free up your energy and your mental health and everything like that you'll be able to take on more orders. So it will just like you'll get, and you know, I always talk about the universe, and I don't even mean to be that person to shove that shit up people's asses.
The universe is there.
Right. I love it so much. But like, I'm a firm believer that when you invest in yourself and in your business, even if you're like, where's the money going to come from? You know, we're hiring a full-time manager, and, you know, managers, they'll maybe, we're not necessarily going to make money off of them because they're not going to be going to work physically for us. You know what I mean? That's going to be overhead that we have to like consume, I think is the word. But, and we're like, you know, where's the money going to come from? We're not going to make off of that person, but it's like, we're going to end up getting a huge contract because that person's going to take over so much of our day-to-day tasks that me and Grace are going to be able to go out and be more present and like happier, to be honest, you know what I mean? Less stressed out, that we'll be able to sell better. So it's an investment, and like, you know, you'll get that money back like ASAP, especially if you're like you, which is you're a hardworking girl. You know what I mean? You're good at what you do. So, and you're good at manifesting. So that money will come back to you so quick.
I could be better.
Everyone could be better. Are you kidding me?
I don't want to say I half-ass things, but because I do so many things,
right,
sometimes a lot of shit is last minute, and it's like, it is what it is. But that's what nice is about these. That's what's nice about some of these airline orders is that even if they order and I can't do it, I already fucking said that. I'm high as shit. Do you smoke?
I do sometimes.
Did you smoke today?
No, because I'm going to open mic later. So if I smoke before I get on stage, I'm like, why? I forgot why I'm even here.
So I feel like if I was to do an open mic, I would have to smoke.
Yeah.
But I think that would be like
that's part of your stuff.
MO.
Yeah.
Is like I'm the pothead.
Yeah.
That May you not be a lesbian in 10 years.
I love that.
So
You could just go up there like that, say that shit.
I'm not. I don't know what this is. There's all kinds of different things these days. When it comes to certain things that are inappropriate for some people's ears, I prefer a man. I can never see myself doing physical activity with a woman. I've made out with women.
Yeah.
Some I've been like, I've made out with one woman. I've kissed other women.
Yeah.
Awkward. Weird.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, what if you've just been kissing the wrong woman?
You never know.
Because
you gotta just go around, kiss them all, figure it out.
But I find women probably more attractive.
Yeah.
But who wouldn't?
I think women are beautiful too, definitely. I mean, I don't know if this is like X-rated, but like dicks are usually ugly. But I also feel like, you know, I don't know. I think it's more for me, it's like I'm attracted to like smart people. You know what I mean? Like to smart people that hustle, that are funny. Like it doesn't really matter to me. I don't really care like who it is. You know what I mean? What do they say? There's a word for that. Like when you're like attracted to someone's
sense of humor.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like when you're attracted to like
Personality.
someone's soul, kind of.
I'd say like I feel the people in my history that I have dated, most of them, it was because they made me laugh.
Yeah, that's important.
And a lot of them are not good looking.
Yeah. You're like, ha ha ha, you're making me laugh my pants off.
However, they stop being funny real fucking quick.
Yeah, that's when you get rid of them.
Kenny's funny.
I remember him being funny.
He's funny in like a quiet, like humor way, which I always say that my grandma and grandpa are like the foundation of what I inspire to be as an older woman. And my grandpa's very, is it somber? Is that what quiet is? Like very quiet and
Possibly.
But he's a very smart man. He just double retired. He retired from Bergen High School. He was an English teacher. Just re-retired for dance and whatever department from the U of R.
Oh, that's cool.
He taught like Tai Chi and stuff.
Cool.
So he just retired again. He's 82 maybe? 80, 81, one of those.
That's amazing.
And the key to life, especially I see through them, is to keep moving.
Yeah.
People
I agree.
think you're 30. It's wild to me that I feel when we're younger and we see kids or people that were 30, we thought they were so fucking old. But then we get here and we're like, well, I kind of still feel like I'm a kid, but I guess I don't.
Right, until you get next to a 21-year-old, and then you're like, no.
I don't understand how people our age date 21-year-olds.
I've never heard that. I mean, I believe it.
There's lots of people we went to school with
that are 35, 36.
dating young
21.
girls.
Oh, guys.
Yes.
No. I hate to say it's a double standard, but...
You do see that more.
Yeah.
But it's not unheard of dating younger. My parents are 10 years apart.
I was dating this one guy, and he was old as fuck.
What was the oldest?
59.
That's my mom's age.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking old.
I know. I like it. Granddaddy shit.
A few of my friends just dated men or just married men that I think are like 15 years older.
I just want to mention this. I love that Scott has not said anything this whole entire time until I said that. And then Scott goes, yeah, that's pretty old.
I thought Scott was our age.
He is like close to it, aren't you?
No.
52.
You're 52?
Listen, Scott was 18.
Oh, you aged so gracefully, Scott.
Scott was 18 the year I was born.
Nice.
No, that blew my fucking mind. That blew my mind.
Blows my mind when you say it that way.
It's weird because there's like the start of like, there's season 1 of Stoney Baloney that I feel like is just, you could tell I'm transitioning. It's a new transitional year for me.
Yeah.
Scott, would you agree with that statement?
Yes.
It's like
There's been a lot of transitions. You transitioned and then
Every time.
transitioned again, and then you transitioned back. It's cool. I like it though.
well, I feel that like my friend Crystal, who does my hair all the time,
Yeah.
she had to accept the fact that I'm a person who changes shit all the time, and I got to do it like this. So I feel like the last few podcast episodes in limbo of trying to figure out what the podcast was going to be was like the Lost Worlds of Mario. They were like the extra pieces that kind of just got thrown into a new game, and they were like in the middle of it all. So I feel like that was that era. Like that's what I picture when I picture my other podcasts that I did in between. But now I feel I figured it out. Here we are. I'm getting into the swing of things of figuring out how to do this shit while being a mom. I just thistled. But also, I feel that everything like this aligned for me, and I kind of realized the other day too, I was thinking my friend who just got married, or she's getting married, how happy she is. And she was married for a long time, had kids, and I felt that she was pressured to get married when we were younger.
Yeah.
So she's been with someone that she loved, but didn't necessarily, like, I feel truly belong with them. And now, a few years ago, she had a really good job, and she texted me one day and said how unhappy she was and wanted to leave her job. And I can't remember if she already left it, but said like I inspired her, or if she said she was thinking about it. And I was like, just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And she's been working at a fucking restaurant for the past few years, but everything else started coming together in her life. Like, she left the husband she wasn't happy with. She left the job she wasn't happy with. And now she's happier than she can ever fucking be. She looks better than she's like ever. Like, she's just getting better and better.
That's amazing.
Not that she's ever looked bad, but you know what I mean. We both worked at the same law firm.
Shapiro?
Yeah, she says the name. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
I mean, it doesn't.
It's not Shapiro anymore.
Oh, what is it?
Logs.
Gross.
Yeah, it's Logs. Yeah, I got fired from that place twice.
How long were you there the first time?
I think I was there for like 2 years the first time and then 2 years the second time.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
Yeah, I was there for about 4 years. So they fired me the first time. And then my friend who had worked there had reached back out and was like, reached back out. And then she was like, we're hiring again, you should just email them, tell them, you kind of grew up a little bit and whatever. So I was like, yeah, sure. And then I went back there and it was just, I was just doing the same bullshit. I was hungover every freaking day there. I was probably still drunk most of the days. It was a shit show.
It was nice having like a routine there, and they had like a kitchen with like coffee every morning. So it was okay, like having your cubes, but they were like fucking treat you like children there. I remember one day there was a cat, and I understand like you're dealing with documents and shit like that.
Yeah.
But like there was a kitten stuck in the car.
I think I remember that day.
And everybody was like outside, and somebody asked me for help because they know that that's like what I do.
Yeah.
So I went out there to help, and I got in trouble by my supervisor, like gnarly. And I was only there for like 2 months, but it was like gnarly. And I was like, okay, this is a little too fucking serious. If I took 20 minutes instead of 15 minutes one fucking time, so fucking be it. But I'm not clocked in.
Yeah.
So who the fuck cares? And I think that made me realize, like, man, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I can't be tamed.
9 to 5s. Yeah, 9 to 5s are not.
Cannot be tamed.
Yeah.
But not like that. You had to sign out to go to the bathroom. And it's funny, like, people still, with how open I am, don't understand that I don't give a fuck. I'm not here to impress you or put on a show for anybody. This is who I am, and this is what allows the things in my life to fall into place because I'm true to myself.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to be some classy ass bitch motherfucker. Like, this is what you're getting. So when people are like, I just can't.
Yeah.
I just fucking can't. I don't even remember where I was going with that. I just got pissed.
You're like, this is who I am, motherfucker.
Oh, I remember now. I'm 37 years old. I don't need people telling me what I can and cannot do. Mm-hmm. I'm an adult that can make responsible choices. If I want to work in an environment that's like super professional and whatever, like the remote job I have, we get together, we have meetings, we have lunch meetings. I have to be professional. I'm still me.
Yeah.
I'm still I make my little one-liners and shit. Even in the tense conversations or, where my friend or my other coworker doesn't want to, tell the boss something because he might be like upset. I make my little, whatever. Like I keep things fun.
Yeah, that's how I was. I used to actually love working at the law firm because it was like every day for me was just like kind of a party until they got really strict. And then they were like, you need to stop talking while you work. And I was like, oh, this isn't fun. But I swear to God, I used it as like my stage. Like I literally would just make people laugh so hard when we used to have like our conference meetings and shit. Like, anytime I talked, like I would have the whole entire department like dying laughing. And that was like the best thing. But now I just get to do it on my own terms and in front of like a million times more people. So
I used to cater for them sometimes from Panera.
Oh, yeah.
I left Panera to go there. But when I got fired, I got let go and they did like a bunch of layoffs at that time.
Yeah.
I also feel like the girl who trained me was a bitch and she was mad that I was coming in. I don't, what was I, like a paralegal assistant or something?
Yeah,
Is
maybe.
that what they're called? But like,
I don't know what it was.
I was supposed to like check document things for the lawyer and make sure like things were whatever. And like, I fucking understand, but I'm not a fucking editor. I can't even spell shit it's just... But, so it wasn't for me, but the girl that was training me didn't really train me good. So I feel like she set me up for failure, but the universe knew
Yeah.
that
They're like,
wasn't
you don't belong.
for me.
Yeah. It's like, you have bigger goals and bigger dreams than this. I cannot imagine working. Okay, so you want to hear a quick story? This is how I started my cleaning company. After I got really sick with COVID and pneumonia, I ended up in the hospital for 2 weeks.
I remember that.
Yeah. And before that, I had lost everything due to partying. Like I literally was homeless. I didn't have a car. My family wasn't talking to me. I was 100 pounds heavier, had nothing. Ended up in the hospital with COVID. I actually went in for rehab. And then the first day that I got there, they're like, you have COVID. Ended up in the hospital, whatever. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I have nothing to show for myself. So I get out, try to get my shit together. I'm working at another like mortgage broker company, inputting numbers, miserable as fuck. I'm like, even if I do the very best that I could ever do at this company, they're not going to pay me $1 million. And my goal is to become a millionaire. I was like, but if I take this 40 hours a week that I'm just mindlessly inputting numbers and I put that into my own company, there's no cap, there's no ceiling at how far I can grow. So anyways, I got fired from that job for sleeping on the job because it was work from home. And then I started cleaning on the side. And then I just got really lucky because, this girl, shout her out real quick. Sam hit me up and she was like, I got 4 restaurants for you. She saw me cleaning on the side. She said, they need to be cleaned anywhere from 2 to 6 days a week. Do you want the contract? I said, fuck yeah. And that's how I started my company. But the main point being that, like, you're putting in 40 hours of work for what? Some people are happy with that because maybe their goal...
They like the structure.
Benefits. There's benefits, you know what I mean? Especially if you're a family person, you know what I mean? Maybe their main focus is family. They don't really care about whatever, which is good. And that's why it's good that everybody has different goals because it allows the world to, work how it works, Not everybody wants to, be the same thing. That's why there's so many different things out there, but not me. I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going after some money.
People with our personalities, it's like we're not meant to it's not that we're not meant to do good in those environments, but we never will be our best selves in those environments.
Right.
And that's why I'm like the queen of the quit fire. Mm-hmm. Because I get to a certain point where it's like, fuck this shit. You guys fucking suck. You're fucking you're fucking your shit up. You could be doing so good right now, but you're fucking your shit up. You're not taking advice from the people that are dealing with the bullshit every fucking day. And then in return, like, I'm getting fucked because, you know, this person and this person are making twice as much as me. Like, for what?
Yeah.
So.
What's the quit fire? Is that when they fire you and you say, you can't fire me, I quit?
Nah. The quit fire is usually a process. The quit fire... let's say for Highland, for example, I started getting sick of Highland shit of maybe a few months beforehand. And then there were some quick changes, but like it was the wrong changes. And I cared very much about the owner and the company and whatever. And I worked very hard there on and off the clock. But he wasn't listening. And I was like... I sent a letter to whom it may concern. And I sent it to the office.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is what's going on here. This is what needs to change.
Right.
And then I did a list of all of my jobs. They were taking away our overtime, which, whatever. I understand businesses need to do that.
Right.
But, like, what about the other people walking around here that are not doing shit all fucking day?
Right.
So if you're going to take my overtime, fine, but you're going to pay me a difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or work something else out with me.
Yeah.
But, like, I'm not going to sit here and watch these other people, like, not do shit all day.
Right.
So I'm always the one that sticks up for myself, and I stick up for my people. And nobody asked me to do that, but I give a fuck. And that's important for me to be a business owner. Like, with my, her name's Kayla. With Kayla, she lives... close the shade, so it's nice for her to jip over, which is nice. But I told her, like, this is a great way for you to make money. Someday, maybe I'll send you $75 today. Next time I can only pay you the hourly that we talked about, but like maybe in a couple whatever, like we had a really good weekend.
Yeah, right. Send bonuses like when you can, right.
But I'm also realistic, and I know that people have lives, and like, let's say she was in school. Here, you can do your schoolwork, like as long as everything's done and you were able to, you know, do the appointments and do a little bit of this. Like, I'm flexible, and it's hard in our society to find good workers. And I know everyone says that, but I was watching something on News Nation a few months ago, and they were talking about how this generation of people, they don't want to work long hours, and they are very particular. And the people that I've interviewed to like do shade, I haven't been impressed with, because everything they tell me is everything they don't want to do. And it's like, well, our generation had to do all the shit we didn't want to do before we could get to where we wanted to be. You guys are starting to make as much as an hour that it's taken almost 20 years for some of us to make an hour.
Right.
So, like, why... and they just don't understand. And they think that, you know, we owe them whatever. And it's like, well, we also got pressured to go to school and collect student loan debt when we should have been investing in houses. And now we can't even afford houses unless you were lucky. And, you know, for me, I tried to get as far the fuck away from Rochester as I could when I turned 18.
Right.
I went to Miami, and... although that was great, I wish I went to school in my late 20s.
Yeah.
I would have processed it more, because even when you're a kid, I think about directions and streets and the city, and like I could not map around and drive around the city like I do now and like know where everything is, but I feel like your brain is seriously so smaller that you don't realize the extra vision.
Yeah.
Around.
Yeah, well, you know, people are told, like, go to school, get a degree, and then you'll come out and you'll have a good job or whatever. I was kicked out of SUNY Fredonia. I freaking failed out of SUNY Brockport, and, you know, I'm still doing good. So I think school is, you know, if someone wants to go to school, let them go to school. But, you know, it is It is what it is. Either way.
I think there's things you definitely should go for, like a doctor.
Yeah, doctor. I agree with that, 110%. But like I don't know. A lot of stuff. You know what they say about school is they say that you learn more in your first year out of college at your new position than you learn in all 4 years in college.
I believe that.
Yeah. Because it's tailored to like whatever you're doing.
I think we kind of got gypped on a lot of things, and even when people ask me for senior discounts, I'm like, senior discount? Don't you got to retire? I don't know if I'm going to have a retirement. As a small business owner, that's something you got to learn to pull out on yourself. But I feel people don't even realize how expensive that is. And my friend's a cleaner also. And she was just saying how she had been cleaning this apartment for a long time. The owner actually decided to start I don't know what it was before, but he decided to start renting the space out. But she cleaned it before. The person who moved in wanted her to start cleaning. Well, she waited till she was done cleaning to A, nitpick what she didn't do, and then B, say, well, I can't afford this amount an hour, like $125 or something. Here's $50. And my friend was like, no, thank you. You can keep it. And then it became a thing, and she ended up running out of there crying, and the owner ended up feeling bad and like paid her. And the woman was like harassing her after that, like, please just take something. How about you pay the fucking $125, bitch? Like, and people, some hairstylists charge $300, some charge this. I have been better with charging what I need to for shades since the deli. Deli, I don't give a fuck, because that shit is fucking expensive. Yeah. People want, for 6 people, I have a $35, $40 budget. Do you know how much shit is these days? You know how, you go to the grocery store, like...
eggs and shit.
How can you guys fucking expect that? And I understand if we had a kitchen that was fully stocked, things would also be cheaper for us. And there's ways that as I get help with the baby, I plan on filling in those holes. Like, but
like you said, it's super fresh now.
Yeah.
So you could just make that a part of your business plan.
What I might start doing is when I have catering orders, ordering a little extra and then selling it, or being like, hey, I have 3 chopped Italian sandwiches left over.
Right.
Putting it on Facebook and seeing who wants to buy it and come down and get it.
Yeah.
Because I did that for one of our pop-ups and it was fucking great.
Yeah. I definitely want to try some of your food.
You should.
Yeah.
And that's...
Dude, what was that sandwich you brought me that time?
Heather's favorite.
Oh, no, it's Scott's favorite. It's not Heather's. So good.
So I don't know if you've ever seen this clip, but Andre came for my last 2 episodes of last season.
Okay.
He also said what up.
Oh, okay, dope. Tell him I said hey.
He dropped some stuff off to me earlier from the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Dope.
But I gave him a chicken salad sandwich. This piece of shit drops the nasty fucking mayonnaise fucking sandwich on the floor out here in the hallway.
Yeah.
Picks it up, makes a snarky fucking comment like, it's still good, and he fucking eats it. It was the most mayonnaise-y fucking sandwich I have ever made in my life.
Literally, I think my dog shit like right there where he dropped it.
Oh my God.
And Andre goes, I never get sick. And then he does like his little giggle. And then you hear Scott in the background. Well, I could see why.
Yes. He's got the antibodies for days.
If I had to pick like a duo to have a comedy show with, Andre.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We just fucking feed. I don't think I have laughed as hard in my life. But it's because we're both, I feel growing up, we both were accused of being troublemakers.
Yeah.
But we were fun troublemakers.
Yeah.
Like fun, safe trouble. Like breaking into the high school.
Yeah.
That's okay.
That's okay.
But so I feel that our careers of life became sarcastic. Like we became professionally sarcastic. and that energy just always cracks me up. I'm lucky to have found a brother, an additional family.
Yeah, for sure.
But we do have to wrap it up today. I was very excited to have you come on, and
this was fun.
Be happy to have you on again. And
anytime.
Maybe there'll be like a part 2 down the road if I come do a comedy show with you.
Oh my God, yes, that'll be fun, and we can talk about it after.
Recap what happened.
Let's do it. I'm so down.
Oh, sick. And this will force me to do it too.
Yeah.
All right,
for sure. Yeah.
Megan, if our listeners wanted to catch your next comedy show, where can they find that information?
Okay. Good question, Heather. Oh my God, I'm so glad that you just thought of that. And Scott didn't think of it at all. No, I'm just kidding. You guys can follow me on Meghan Rose Co, MEGHAN, Rose as in the flower, Co as in comedy, CO. And I do have some shows coming up, but I can't even think of them right now, but I'm at Ithaca Laughs Comedy Fest this weekend, so that should be fun.
Shit.
Yeah. Gonna tell some jokes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in to the Stoney Baloney podcast, and we'll catch you later.
Bye. Thank you for having me.